Morning, everyone. Hey, it's Len, and welcome to Mercury Man Garage and Outdoors. Well, another beautiful day here in Michigan. Beautiful fall day. No wind to speak of at all, but it's nice and cool, so therefore we got the hoodie on. Probably won't have it on for long. It's supposed to get up to almost 70 degrees today, and like I said, no breeze. It's going to feel warm, especially with today's project, which is splitting that locust that we cut up the other day. Stay tuned. And right here is where we are going to be putting that locust in the new bin. Oh, look at the horses playing. Cool. Playing around, horsing around today. That's what I'll be doing. Nope, I'm going to be working. But like I said, this is where we're going to be putting that locust. I'm going to just mix it in with this red oak. I'm guessing they're going to dry relatively the same speed. Probably a good year. Sitting in this open bin, I don't think it's going to take as long as the wood shed. Everything's packed in there pretty tight. Airflow is restricted somewhat, which is okay. This is probably going to be a little faster. And I'm going to put this locust right in here with it. And whatever else I split up next will go in here as well. I'm going to fill this up. I got to get some more totes. Like I said earlier in earlier videos, I got to get a tote there and 2 totes over there to finish this bin off. And then we're going to load it up. Let's get going. Real quick a minute here, guys. We're going to be cutting this locust on the one and only C-Slow County line from Tractor Supply. You guys have seen this many times. Soon to be replaced, I hope. But this has been a really good splitter. I have no complaints about this splitter other than it being very slow. But if you're a homeowner just heating some wood for the house, campfires, this is the splitter to go with. You don't need a commercial splitter for local, or homeowner use firewood. That thing is perfect. But here's what we got. We got the locust in here in the bucket. I got a couple of bigger ones down here, and the remainder is way over there. Kind of see them way over there. It's going to be a couple of trips getting them over here, that's for sure. But as you remember, we purdied this wood up with the 500i because, like I said in that previous video, tree service wood is, you never know what you're going to get. And this didn't look the greatest at first, but once I got it cut up, cut the nubs off and the branches, it cleaned up really nice. But the big question is going to be, how is it going to split? So let's get going. Okay, well, what have we learned? I've split up about 8 or 10 various sizes, and we learned that there's ants in locusts too. Must be winter. Winter's coming, they're looking for a warm place to stay. But you get ants in all kinds of wood, no problem there. Let's take a look at a couple of the splits. And most of this was fairly straight grain, not too bad. And it's split up really nice, and man, is that stuff wet. You can just feel it in your hand how wet that is. But this is my kind of wood. Far from perfect, but I can make a bundle out of this and sell it, no problem. My customers don't seem to care if wood looks like this. And for $5 a bundle, they can't complain too much. But we just got to get this to dry now. It might take a year. It's going to at least a year. And we're going to mix it with the oak. And I may even, if I'm ambitious, I may even do some of this hickory and throw some of that in here too, because all of that will be slow drying wood, so that would be good to put together. Let me tell you guys, the more I'm tossing wood in here, the more I'm liking this bin. I'm real excited to see how this is going to turn out for me. I think it's going to be great. There's only a couple of downsides that I see to this style bin. And the biggest one is just getting the wood out of here. I can see, you know, for me, it's going to be a lot of bending and stooping and picking them up, bending down low, grabbing the wood, and sticking them in my bundler and bundling right from the bin. That's the only way I can see this is going to work. Another way I'm thinking of maybe is when the time comes, I can just pick up a pallet with wood on it, get my forks on the tractor, and pick up a pallet individually with wood on it and bring it over to my bundler and bundle, you know, at a good working height, rather than bending down every time to pick up a piece of wood to put in the bundler. That's the biggest downside I see with one of these, at least for me anyway. The other downside is not as big as where I have it. It could get some leaves, and it's already getting a bunch of those tumbleweeds that I love so much in here. That's not a big deal, but leaves could be a problem. So, but I don't have a lot of branches overhead. It's just that one. That's the main one right there. So I don't think I'm gonna get a ton of leaves. The biggest downside for me is going to be getting this wood out of here. Well, that's as far as I'm gonna go today, guys. That's probably 3 hours worth of work right there. And I'm probably a third of the way through of that locust. You can still see it over there. There's quite a bit. The bin's looking good. It's filling up nice. I mean, relatively speaking. I got a long ways to go. I can get a lot of wood in here. There's no doubt about it, and I'm thinking once I get it up this high, I still can mound it quite a bit. So I'm pleased. Really like this bin. It's gonna work out great. If it does, we may do another one. Like I said earlier, the biggest issue with these, and you guys can chime in on that too, especially Jeremiah, if you're listening. Outdoors in the 608, you have a corn crib bin that I really admire, and I'm wondering how you're going to get the wood out of that. So I'm keeping an eye on you. But I mean, it's the same way with anybody who has a pallet bin or a tote bin or anything similar to this. Getting the wood out is, unless you have a conveyor or a grapple on a skid loader or something like that, you know, we're hand tossing it, guys. And if you got a better way, let me know. All right, guys, well, I'm going to wrap this one up. Probably not going to show any more of splitting that locust. I think you get the gist of what I'm trying to do with C-Slow. It takes a while. That's about 3 hours worth of work right there. And the bin's filling up nicely. I still got a ways to go. That's gonna hold a lot of wood. And I'm thinking once I get to the top of those totes, I can still kind of mound it off quite a bit. And I should be able to get a lot of wood in there, so I'm pleased. And if this works out really good, I might do another one. And But I'm real pleased with how this is working. And that locust is splitting up real nice. I got a lot of, I guess you say, weird pieces in there, or uglier pieces, but I use them, guys. If I can fit it in a bundle to make it look halfway decent, presentable, I'm putting it in there. The biggest thing is curing it and seasoning the wood so it burns good. That's the biggest thing for me. And my customers feel the same way. They really don't care how it looks. I'm just trying to get it dry. And I think this bin, even if it takes 2 years, I'll be fine with that. I'm just looking for places to put wood so I can dry it, is what I'm trying to say. And I want to save these 2 bunkers right here for equipment. I still got to get those bladders out of there. Before I go much farther, I want to get those out because the wood's starting to flow down farther towards the totes, and I want to get those bladders put away somewhere. I'm just not sure what to do with them. What do you guys do with empty bladders like that? I've put them on Marketplace before, and guys snap them up pretty well. But these are kind of dirty. And the one, as you can see over there, I used as a table for the splitter. And that worked okay. I don't really need a table when I'm working out of the bucket and tossing into the bin. When I need a table is when I'm working from a pile and grabbing the wood off a pile or just a stack. I need somewhere to put the splits as I'm working it down to bundle size. So that tote table might come in handy. So I'll use 1 or 2 of those for that. Use it as kind of a splitter extension. But looking for ideas on what you guys do with empty tote bladders. They'll probably just end up in the landfill, the ones I don't use. But that's how it goes. All right, guys. I'm going to wrap this one up. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Please subscribe. Please give me a like. Leave a comment. And remember, find your thing. Have a good one.